What's up, everybody? I'm back with another coaster review. It is of Mystic Timbers, the 2017 GCI wooden coaster located at Kings Island. Um, and I got one ride in on this thing on the front row, and I am happy to finally be able to share my experience with it. Sorry, my nose is super itchy. There's a lot of cat hair all over it. Whatever. Now, it was a little. Now, this ride, not which is unlike a lot of the other coasters at Kings Island, has like some awesome theming outside the entrance. You got the big sign, obviously, and then you've got like a little car and stuff like that. And you also got the nice evacuation sign on top, and a few other things around it. Inside the station, there's a little bit of theming, but not a whole lot. Um, there's a lady though when we walked up to the ride. There was a lady that told us that they had to put our rest of our group, me, Noah, Eli, and Lucas obviously had to put our souvenir bottles. We couldn't even take them into the queue line, which was unique. At King Island, some of the rides had bins, some of them didn't. Which kind of sucked, but we kind of just did with the best we could. But the fact that Mr. Timbers didn't have bins, but the fact that we couldn't even bring them into the thing, I thought was a little bit strict. I thought that was a little bit harsh. That we couldn't even do that. We couldn't even like that kind of sucked because they kind of forced to buy a locker. It's like kind of forcing you to do that stuff, and it's like, yeah, you don't want to worry about anything flying off the ride or anybody getting hurt and stuff like that. But at least just let us leave it on the right platform. At least have a bin or something. So that was a little annoying, but we got past that and eventually get into the ride, and we get into the ride experience. Now, you go up the big lift hill. It does a thing on the lift hill. I don't know if it does this all the time, but when we were there, it did the lift hill thing. It goes slowly up. It goes up the lift hill, going normal speed. Then it kind of slows down halfway through the lift hill. Then it kind of picks back up near the end. I don't know why it does that. It must be because to avoid stress on the trains, or maybe it's just because of the chain. I don't know, but it did that when we were watching the ride go and other times as well. So it was like not like just a one-time thing where the ride was having some issues with the chain lift and stuff like that. But then you get to the big drop, and the big drop is really the only part of the ride that you can view from the main pathway. And I was expecting to get some cool footage of the ride dropping. Turns out, I didn't find this out at the time. Turns out, you can only really get that good drop view if you're in two locations. One, you're in the line for the water ride, the Congo Rapids water ride, or on the train. Well, the Congo Rapids water ride was closed when we were there, so that line was queued off, blocked off. So that kind of sucked. And then when we were on the train, it dropped right after we passed it, and then as we were coming back up, we stopped just before it dropped, so I couldn't get any footage of the ride actually going down its first drop, which sucked. I really wanted to, but it's okay. But as far as the ride experience itself, you go down that first drop, and then it's just immediately just a ton of airtime hills. And this was a smooth wooden roller coaster. This was the first modern wooden roller coaster I'd ever ridden, and it was the first major, really well-known wooden roller coaster that I've ridden besides Shivering Timbers at Michigan's Adventure, which is the only other wooden roller coaster that I could really set to compare to Mystic Timbers. And Mystic Timbers, I think, was like a little more of a mix of ejector and floater airtime. It's a lot of quicker and smaller airtime hills, whereas Shivering Timbers goes a lot bigger airtime hills. But man, Mystic Timbers, it just flies through those hills. It was insane how many hills there were, and they all gave some pretty good airtime as well, which was nice. It was a smoother ride too. It's a wooden coaster, so it's always going to have a little bit of that rattle, but it had a lot of amazing airtime hills crossed underneath itself, and it was really nice. I really enjoyed all the airtime hills, and in the front row too, you're just flying. It goes back through the woods. You can kind of see it on the train as well. Again, didn't get to see it go, but well, on the train at least. But it goes back to the woods and stuff like that, and it's really, really cool view. And then it gets to the end of the ride, and I deliberately didn't tell Lucas or Eli about this when we were riding it. I didn't tell my group about this when we were riding it because I didn't tell them about the shed, because I wanted them trying to be surprised. We get into the shed though, and we just sat there for like 5 minutes. Like, I don't think that was by design. I just think the ride had like a issue with like a something going on in the station about like a dispatch. Somebody couldn't ride, or there was like a throw up or something, and we just were stuck there. And it was hot as hell in that station. Like, we were riding it near the end of the day. It was starting to get dark out. The sun was starting to go down, so it actually started to cool off. We get into this little like waiting area before we get to the true shed. And there was like theming around. There was like signs and stuff like that. It looked like a shed, but it was hot, and we were just sitting in there wondering what the hell we were doing. So people were trying to be funny and stuff like that. Eventually worked through, and then we go around to the projection screen, which is the true shed, what's in the shed. The group in front of us got the snake one, the diamondback one. I could see from the screen in front of us. We got the bat one. I don't remember which one's the rarest one, but we got the bat one. The group in front of us got the diamondback one. I don't remember what the third one is right off the bat. I don't know what the third one is. I don't remember it might have been a tree dedicated to Mystic Timbers. But I don't remember what the third one was. I remember there was a lot of like people that were outraged at it because it was like underwhelmed that the ride was that was what was in the shed. But I thought it was a little cool touch. It was a nice touch to end the ride. Which was an awesome experience. I'm going to give this ride an 8 out of 10. Like Diamondback, it was short. Shorter than I thought it was going to be. But it has really good airtime. Smooth ride for a wooden roller coaster. The finish was pretty nice, even though we did get stalled at the end of the brake run. And a fun experience. And so definitely an 8 out of 10 coaster for me. I do think it overtakes. I can't say it overtakes Shivering Timbers because I haven't ridden Shivering Timbers in 4 years. I may get on it this year. That's a very, very big may. It just depends on how the summer goes. It's already very packed of a summer for me. We'll see if I ever get a chance to get back there. I'm not itching to get back there at all, but if I do, I can compare it. But not dying on to. But Mr. Timbers, fun ride. So hopefully you can get out there and try and ride it. So that's been a ride review. Stay tuned for much more amazing content. If you've ever ridden Mystic Timbers or any of the other GCI Woodies, Renegade, Prowler, whatever, I'd like to hear your thoughts about them in the comment section down below, how they compare to Mystic Timbers. And that's going to do it for this review. Until next time, everybody, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.